We thought GM was making strides in the industry, but we thought wrong. The start of the year saw profit for the automaker with 0.6% increase in sales by the second quarter of 2024, delivering 21,980 EVs. However, the company's big dream of producing 400,000 EVs this year appears to be just that, a dream. There's been a crazy slowdown in sales, and it's beginning to cause people to raise their brows and wonder if GM is up to the task it has set for itself. Lots of issues contribute to the reason GM can't sell EVs anymore. From setting unrealistic expectations to veering of the original intent and producing practically unaffordable EVs, GM has proven to be pretty good at making terrible decisions. What has changed for the one-time largest automaker in the US? Why can't they sell EVs anymore? Here's why. GM has discovered that perhaps the 400,000 EV production goal is not so much of a good idea. Many factors have come into play to make the company lower its production goal from 400,000 EVs to between 200,000 and 250,000. They claim that the decision is purely driven by customers' demand, and that may be true. People are no longer interested in EVs. GM vehicles are too expensive, and in recent times they've received more bad reviews than sales, even with the oh-so-glorious Cadillac Lyriq. As the demand for GM's EVs decrease, the competition is on the rise, as the prices of EVs drop across many automakers. Mary Barra, the CEO, says that the company is moderating its pace of EV acceleration to enhance the profitability of their EV portfolio and adjust to slowing near-term growth. But there's more beneath this sudden change of heart and pause. Take the Chevrolet Bolt, for example. Numerous issues like failed infotainment systems and trouble with failed charging was reported. The instant a complaint was raised about the EV, it turned out more people had things to say concerning the function and performance of the Chevrolet Bolt, and the company had no other option but to discontinue production and make reviews to solve the problem. But the problem is the issues and malfunctions reported were not just with the Chevrolet Bolt. The Cadillac Lyriq and GMC Hummer were repeatedly reported to have similar issues, and after making reviews and research, it was discovered that all the EVs based on the Ultium technology has one glitch or the other. Engineers got to work to resolve the issue and make improvements, but that rather led to the elimination of some features entirely. GM claims those eliminated features aren't all that needed anyway, so their removal shouldn't be much of a concern for customers. The demand-driven decision to drop production goals seems more practical. Range anxiety, high cost of maintenance, and insufficient charging infrastructure, and all other factors have negatively affected consumer appetites for EVs. Skepticism rises on a daily basis, and there is enough justification for the fears that customers suffer from. Who would buy an EV just to be consumed with worrying about not having enough to charge to get to where they want? Why spend so much money on an EV when one could get a good vehicle that wouldn't make one worry so much for half the price? All these questions are what customers are constantly faced with. Furthermore, GM delays the launch of several EV models in the attempt to cut down expenses. Earlier, when GM announced their plans to go all electric, it sounded like some great plan. However, it hasn't yielded much for the company. In fact, the general decline in consumer interest in EVs has affected not only GM but other manufacturers. However, it is taking a serious toll on GM. People have lost faith in EVs. The initial hype has died down, and choosing to put all efforts and resources into a commodity that nobody really wants isn't such a great investment. GM is beginning to realize that. Hybrid vehicles have gained more attention in recent times. The idea of not having to depend on just electric charge has become more appealing to the masses, and hybrid vehicle sales have increased drastically. A major challenge with GM and its sales is it has lost its mainstream customers. EVs now cost a fortune, and not everyone is willing to spend their life savings to purchase a vehicle, let alone an EV. GM did a great job with the EVs, but that shot the prices through the roof, and now only a select few can afford them. So far, there's been no record of mass sales of any model at all, which isn't great. If you make luxury SUVs, furnish them with the greatest technologies, and equip them with the best materials, but nobody buys them, what good is that? You could have as well given your money to charity. At least that would yield some results. Right now, GM is in a tight spot. Car dealers are refusing to do business with them because the dealers do not want to sell EVs anymore. It's becoming difficult to convince customers to make a switch to electric vehicles as a result of the various doubts and fears associated with the owning of an EV. The high cost doesn't even make it any easier. Perhaps the hybrid vehicles GM still has in production will come to the rescue. The road has become dark and cloudy for the big automaker. GM has entered into business with Costco, a dealer that facilitates about 3% of car sales in the U.S., offering benefits to its members. By this, GM hopes to reach a larger audience and a different demographic structure, which could in turn have a positive impact on their sales. Mary Barra said in a report that the company will now focus more on building vehicles that meets the demands of the customers rather than on setting new goals. So far, GM's retail EV portfolio this year includes the GMC Hummer pickup and SUV, Cadillac Lyriq, Chevrolet Blazer EV, Chevrolet Equinox EV, Chevy Silverado EV RST, GMC Sierra EV, and, coming soon, are the Cadillac Escalade IQ and hand-built Cadillac Celestiq. Sales came up pretty well for the company at the start of the year, but with sales slowing, GM can only hope to meet its targets in time. Once upon a time, people had great optimism and expectations for EVs, and EVs were all the rage. Now Tesla has set such a high standard, and every other manufacturer is trying to keep up with the craze. At this point, it's obvious that GM needs to go back to the drawing board. In order to fix the challenges the company is faced with, there has been some critical thinking and re-strategizing. This will help the company see holes to block and liabilities to cut down. Perhaps the solution may not be to drop the target, but to make EVs more practical and affordable. The competition in the industry is becoming fierce, and the sooner the company wakes up to this reality and set feasible goals, the better. We hope you found this video helpful. What do you think about the current situation GM is in? Kindly share your thoughts on this topic with us and let us know what you think. We'd appreciate your contribution and support. So please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more updates on the EV industry. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.